Hi, I'm Andrew, and for this project, I'm going to take a deeper look into where I come from. Most of us know our parents and maybe our grandparents, but we don't always think about the generations before them and how their choices and challenges shaped our families today. Family history isn't just a collection of names, it tells stories. Many of these stories exist because of hard work, sacrifice, and resilience. In this presentation, I'm going to go through where my ancestors come from, in places like Germany, Sweden, and much more. Across both sides of my family, there are repeated patterns of immigration, war, losses, and starting all over again. Each generation went through their own struggles that helped shape the next. Today, I'm going to explain where my family comes from and how all of this connects back to who I am and who I am becoming. Next is my mom's side of the family. I'll start with William Neal Tucker, who was known as Bill. Bill is my grandma's dad and was born in the year 1925. Sadly, his parents both died at a young age and he was orphaned at age 5. He spent much of his childhood bouncing between foster homes until he landed with the Moore family. Despite living with them for numerous years, he ran away at age 16 and lied about his age, then enlisted in the army. My grandma believes he ran away because he was hurt that his foster parents never actually adopted him. But that is not true. His foster parents didn't adopt him because they needed the money to help cover his expenses. Eventually, the military found out he lied about his age, and then he went back to the Moore's house. As an adult, Bill started 2 different companies and was consumed by his love of golf. He would play every chance he would get and loved golfing with his friends. He was known for his grit, humor, and much more. Next is Bill's wife, Kathy Stratman Tucker. She was born in Germany and immigrated to the U.S. as an infant in 1924 through Ellis Island. Her family then moved to rural Minnesota and started a life there on a farm. Both of her parents actually forced her to speak English at home because they wanted her to be considered more American. After graduating high school, Kathy decided to leave Minnesota and start a brand new life in Chicago. During World War II, she worked on installing radar into fighter jets. Soon after that, she met her husband Bill in a hospital. He would pretend to be sick to get to see her. Throughout her life, Kathy loved to be outside and active. She went tubing behind a boat and attended jazzercise class well into her 80s. Kathy died in 2019, so I remember her very well. She was even a guest reader in my kindergarten class. Now onto my grandpa's side of the family. My great-opa, Reinhold Gustav Genoinke, was born in Bodenwinkel, Germany, near the town of Danzig. Where he was born is now considered Poland as the borders changed many times around World War II. Reinhold was in the German army as a supply truck driver, which means when the Nazis took control, he was unwillingly pulled in. Whenever we would mention Siberia, he would cry, but he never told us much about it. He met his wife, Irene Yankee, in a refugee camp near Kaiserslautern, Germany. Irene was born in 1927 in a region of Germany where the borders also changed constantly. She grew up on a farm with horses, but talks about being so afraid of horses. Her family then fled to the refugee camp during the war because they were forced to flee their home due to a Russian invasion into the area where they lived. Reinhold died in 2019, and my great-oma Irene is still alive. When I was young, they would come see me once a week and spend the whole day with me, doing things like taking me to the park. Oma still tells me to this day how America gave her a fresh start. Now, moving on to my dad's side of the family. My dad was born November 1st, 1971 in Riverdale, Illinois. He was born into extreme poverty and had to overcome that to get to where he is today. Part of that grit comes from his ancestors, starting with his grandpa, Leslie Vivian Palm. Grandpa Palm was born in 1909 in Galesburg, Illinois, and died in 1978 in Galva, Illinois. He served as a combat photographer during World War II and spoke fluent Swedish. The family had strong family ties to Bishop Hill, a historic Swedish colony in Illinois. He died when my dad was still a young kid. My dad really remembers that he would play the harmonica and his false teeth would always fall out. Next is his wife, my great-grandmother, Dorothy Louise Culver. She was born in 1913 and died in 1994 in Galva. She was the direct descendant of two Revolutionary War soldiers. During World War II, she served as a Red Cross worker and then had a career spinning yarn publicly at Bishop Hill. She loved playing cards, especially bridge. My dad remembers her bringing Swedish traditions into family events. My other two great-grandparents on my dad's side are John Posick and Helen Vasicki. John Posick was born in 1915 and died in 2006. He served in World War II and was involved in the invasion of Saipan. He would tell my dad stories about how he had to build a runway for a plane to land, but needed to throw sticks into the marsh to build some more solid ground. John Posick grew up in deep poverty in Chicago during the Prohibition era. As a child, he would run booze for gangsters to help support his family. As an adult, he worked for 25 years as a casket maker and then another 25 years for the Chicago Sanitary District. He was very close with my dad and even taught my dad to drive at the age of 9 in the cemetery. Now, finally, my dad's grandma, my great-grandma, Helen Vasicki Posick. She was born in 1920 and died in 2020 at the age of 100. She was a skilled seamstress who made many clothes from scratch. She used to take my dad downtown for all sorts of special outings. She once accidentally ate cat food and thought it was good, believe it or not, which then became a family legend. She was known for her kindness, generosity, and her very distinctive laugh. There are also many themes across both sides of the family. Number one, resilience through hardship. There were so many hardships that both families induced, like orphan children, refugee, poverty, war survivors, but even with all that, the family kept moving forward despite the trauma and loss. The mental toughness really passed down through generations. Number two, work ethic. The family has an incredible work ethic. No matter what the challenge was, they would get through it. Number three, family loyalty. The family always stayed close during tough times. And then finally, number four, how it shapes me. I inherited their grit, humor, compassion, and ambition. My family history truly helped shape me into who I am today.